Hello there, it's Simone. I'm here for my snippets from my desk video today. It's Sunday, March 24th. And I just is a little bit, maybe 30 minutes ago, I came back from a walk with my puppy. And we walked through a snow shower. And then when we got home, it had stopped and the sun was out and shining. That was the weirdest thing. But I'm dry and I'm back. And the first thing I want to do is catch up on my reading journal. There's not much to catch up actually. I read one book this past week. I think I started it actually. It took me not a while, but I think I started it on Friday and finished it on Monday or Tuesday. So this is number 18. And the title is The Many Lives of Mama Love. And I did not get this from where I wrote down. I actually just remember I found this on Opus Book Club Instagram page. Oh, there is a pencil board right here. I could use this as to underline. It was an interesting listen for me because the place where this book takes place in Santa Cruz County is basically really close to where we lived for the past 10 years. And she was a white middle-aged woman with a drug problem. And ever since reading, the German title is Wir Kinder vom Bahnhof Zoo. I need to check if there's an English translation, and I'll put it maybe on the screen or in the description box down below, which is a book about a German teenager who runs away from her home. And I don't remember why, but I read this book. It was a lot about drugs and being homeless. And I read this when I was a teenager. And it basically traumatized me. I was super afraid of hard drugs. Much of this book is centered around a specific train station in Berlin, Bahnhof Zoo. And when I went there for the first time, I was sure that there were heroin addicts everywhere, and I would accidentally be, I don't know. I'm a girl, a country girl, basically. I grew up not close, or not for me visibly close to any of this, any drug use, drug abuse. The only drugs that I was in contact with were alcohol and cigarettes. And I knew about alcoholism. I have family members who had problems with alcoholism, but yeah, so that traumatized me. And when I read this, I don't know, it gave me a lot of anxiety. But I really liked it nonetheless. And I was hesitant to pick it up, and I'm so glad I did. So this is Opus Book Club Instagram page. I think this is a memoir by, I forgot, Lara Love Hardin. This is a memoir, and I think she also addresses this in the book. In her memoir itself, is that she was incarcerated. She her memoir is obviously from the standpoint of a white woman, and she acknowledges that her experience was definitely skewed because of that, and she thinks that had she been not white, her experience would have been much different, even though her experience was hard enough to read. I hope I'm doing this book justice, and should I put a trigger warning in the video description? I don't know. She was basically driven to recover and get back sober. Is that the right word? Because she wanted to take care of her youngest son and also be able to have connections to her older children. And that's what basically made her being able to get through, get clean, re-enter society in order to be able to do just that. Okay, I was very impressed. She's a really great storyteller. She has been a ghostwriter for a while before she wrote her own memoir, and I would love to read one of the books that she ghostwrote. The most famous one is an Alabama man, black, who was on death row for I think 24 years and incarcerated. He was not guilty, and they were able to, exonerate him? These are words that I'm not familiar with. And so she wrote his book for him. And I want to see if I can find that and read that as well. Okay, then I'm not going to number the next one. It is Midnight at the, is it Christmas Bookshop? I thought I knew it. Yeah, the Christmas Bookshop. It's by Jenny Colgan. Audio. So I started with her first one in that series, The Christmas Bookshop, in January 2024. And so I thought I was going to request the second book as well. This was just right after Christmas, right at the beginning of the new year. But the second book just became available this last week. And I started and I got like 15 minutes in, similar to In the Weeds. And it just wasn't doing it for me at this time. I don't think that, so I'm going to write DNF, not the right time. I think I'm going to go back to this and request this maybe in October so I can read it closer to Christmas, or check if it's actually available and how long the wait time is so I can read it closer to Christmas. And that's all the books that I read this last week. I am currently trying, because I don't know what it is with me and the books, but I'm currently trying. I had a hard time. I was trying to listen to podcasts. They didn't do it for me this last, Thursday and Friday. Then I tried the Christmas Bookshop. Didn't do it for me. And then I'm trying currently, I haven't given up yet, A Gentleman in Moscow, and that is not going well either. The problem with that is that there is a lot of dialogue and it is read like a screenplay basically. So then there is no different narrators, the voice is not different, it's just person A says this, person B says this, person A says this, person B responds, da da da. And so that was the first chapter, I think, or the prologue. And yeah, so maybe I can get into this tomorrow at work. And if not, the other book that I have and that I'm afraid of, because it's also, I think you have to be in the right mood and you have to be able to just get through literary fiction, is Ann Patchett, Tom Lake. So, and then I'm out of books. I did something that I want to share and document. First of all, look at this cover. Isn't it super pretty? My friend Karen sent this to me as a late birthday present. It looks, I love that she said she went into Target and there was this and something else. I'll show it to you in a second. And she immediately thought of me and bought them for me. And I love it. The colors are so good. And yeah, I am housing my ink logbook. And this is from a happy mail from Claudia. She sent this. I just used some glue and stuck it in, you know, one of the tape runner, this one, double-sided tape. So it's not there forever. I thought about maybe just stitching it on the outside, but I'm going to wait and see how big and bulky this is getting. This is a 300-page book. Oh, it's not even slipped in. Ooh. Because you can see here, this is made for smaller books and it stands open a little, and I want to see if it still closes when I'm further in. And if it does, then I will put this on the outside and just use this as my cover for my ink log. What I like about this actually is that there's nothing here besides these two pen loops that are negligible. I don't know how to say that word. So here we are here. Let me put this right there. There's going to be an unboxing of this soon. I did something, and I did this on March 23. That was yesterday, 2024. So a friend on Discord asked, because of their Monoc nib had some flow issues, and we were wondering if it's because of the pen that she uses it in, a cartridge converter, and if a dry ink would benefit more if the nib was in an eyedropper pen. And because I'm currently using this pen, I used it with my Pilot Parallel nib, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to swap nibs and see how this works. And of course, this is a shimmer ink. And of course, it is recommended that you do not use shimmer inks with Monoc nibs because you cannot separate the feed and nib unit. Well, I didn't know that when I did this swap, but look at the flow and the wetness of the nib. I want to use this combination with one of the dry inks. If maybe you remember, it almost looks like there's, can you see this? So this is what it looks like on the right side. There's no problem with any directional writing. None of this is dry. Look how wet this is, and this is the reverse. It's still super wet. this is exactly how I expected this nib to behave. I had used Dominant Industry Earl Grey in this nib before, and that was okay. It wasn't as wet as this. Oh, I also used Raspberry Rose, I think. That was super wet too. And then I used in February? No. Here, the Monoc. So in January, I used Troublemaker Abalone, and this is a dry ink. And I used this with the Monoc nib, and I did not have a good experience in this, with this pen and nib. And I think I would have probably had a much better experience with this nib if I had it in an eyedropper. What I like about this is that this is an actual eyedropper pen, but you could actually also eyedropper any other pen. Like this nib doesn't fit into Kaweco Sports, but Kaweco Sports are eyedropperable. You know which one is also eyedropperable? My Kaweco Sport dupe, the Gravitas pocket pen. This one would be a good eyedropper pen, probably with the Monoc nib. And then the Ultim pen by Schoen Design is also easily eyedroppered. So I could do this as well. They are made to be eyedroppered. As you can see here, there's an O-ring to make this seal well when there's ink inside. There's no O-ring in the nib. That's interesting. Oh, it says in here. And then you can see here, there's quite a few O-rings everywhere. There's 2 O-rings here in the barrel, in the section. And then there is an O-ring right here as well, where you attach the section to the body. And then there is an O-ring in the cap. So there's lots of O-rings that prevent the nib from, the ink from gushing out. But yeah, that is what I did, and I really like it. I decided I'm just going to keep this like that and risk having a residue shimmer in this nib and not stress about it. And if it doesn't clean out all the way, then I will have surprise shimmer until it's completely gone. But maybe I should write what this is. So Opus 88 with Monoc medium. Yeah, and you can actually see the shimmer. That's cool too. I wasn't, after the abalone experience, I wasn't sold on this nib. I was actually considering putting it on my test this and maybe sell it, but now after putting this nib on this pen, I'm like, oh wow, there's so much more to explore and probably enjoy. I'm gonna leave this. And then I also did something. I did not enjoy the, I think it was a problem with the ink, because I do like the nib actually. When I look at the writing here and here, it looks nice. It did not look like this anywhere else on any other paper, only in this notebook. It was super dry, super light, and that's not how I remember Steeped Umber to be. I was not happy with this, and so I decided, you know what? Didn't I promise myself not to continue using pen and ink combinations that I don't like? And so I followed my own rule, uninked this, and then I inked, where is it? Here. I inked my Lamy 2000 with an F nib with this Kobe Museum ink. I'm not really sure how you write it. Lamborg Museum Maroon. This was an ink that an ink sample that my friend Amy brought back from her Japan trip and shared the sample with me. And I just went into my Project Ink Down box, removed one of the samples, and that was it. And I love this ink in this pen. So yeah, my lineup has changed a bit, but that's okay. This color is so pretty, man. So that is my inky experiments and things that I've been doing. I found a new pen that I added to my wish list, and I'm not sure why, but I cannot contain myself. I really want that pen basically yesterday. So I'm trying to hold out a little longer because that's not what I planned to do. But again, I told everyone that I'm not having any rules, so I need to stick to that as well. I'm currently waiting for Atlas for their affiliate payout, and whenever that is happening, then I'll probably go for that. Because it's another Sailor pen, and I have a Sailor medium nib now. So I'm wondering, should I get another medium nib? Or should I venture out into the broad? Yeah. I mean, my goal is to acquire the Yoseka Origin Sailor as well at some point this year. I'm putting this all the way to the end of the year right now, because then I could also add Christmas funds to that, which would make taking from my budget it wouldn't be as much taking from my budget. It would just be Christmas budget plus pen budget. So that's the thought here. However, I could get, so the thoughts that I have about this is I could get the broad in the Sailor that I really want right now, and then whichever one of those I like most, I could then get another nib size in the Yoseka Origin. That makes sense. So like if I prefer the broad, then I would get another broad in the Origin. If I prefer the medium, then I would get another medium in the Yoseka Origin. So she did not only send me a cover, but she also sent me this awesome pencil case. And at first I was like, do I really need another one? But I like how wide it is. And even though there was a snow shower earlier today, this last week on Tuesday and Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was absolute amazing spring weather with temperatures that were so warm that you could sit outside. And so I babysat the puppy outside. Our fenced yard is tiny, and the fence is not high enough, so we cannot let him be outside unsupervised. So I just brought all of my shit out there to the table, and I put my washi tapes that I've been using and loving lately in here with my glue, my scissors, and I cannot for the life of me find the top of this here, and my eraser, and it's so good. And I'm just going to keep this on my desk so these washi tapes don't fall around everywhere. I'm so excited about this. And then I also started using my rickshaw pen case again, because when I'm moving my stuff around my tray, so these are the pens that I have used since coming back inside. Well, actually, I also moved to the dining room table yesterday. So these are the pens that I've used since yesterday. Taking my pen tray outside like this is not the best idea. So I'd rather stick my pens into this case and keep them safe. And we're already at 24 minutes and I haven't journaled a thing. So maybe I can just start. I meant to film along this week, because this is last week and I didn't do anything in here. That was my goal. I wanted to do another one of those, a week in my journal, where I do 10 minutes of journaling every day, and then at the end of the week, hopefully this is filled in. And for some reason, first of all, I forgot, and when I had the opportunity, there were other things that I liked doing more, and so I decided, you know what, even though this worked last week, if it doesn't work this week, then I'm not going to force it. And so I just didn't. I filled in all of this yesterday. I don't remember. Oh yes, see, that's cool, because here, and then what did I do on Tuesday? No, don't remember what happened on Tuesday. So I want to use the rub-on stickers that I forgot about last time. So let's just, how do I do this? I don't even. It is stationery, right? With an E. Or am I just wrong here? So I am going to use my scissors, which are right here. I can hear my puppy. He's supposed to sleep. Hopefully he'll continue sleeping for a while. Maybe I'll do this right there. I want to use as much as I can of this rub-on sheet. And I also want to make sure that I don't forget that I can use this on Happy Mail letters to decorate paper. Oh, this is coming off so nicely. Well, I wasn't here. There we go. Oh, this is stuck here. And maybe I can use one of my fountain pens. What about, I'll just use this one. Okay. I need a reading board. This is so nice. I've been doing this lately, and I really enjoy using my fountain pens as basically title makers, especially when they are a bit broader, and then the contrast between the broader title maker pen and the extra fine or even ultra extra fine on this pen is so huge. I think that's a good sentence. So the reason why I took this is because this looks like a donut, so fits the theme. You know, you need to stretch your imagination quite a bit with my fits themes. And then we were outside at the dog park, and there were no other puppies, but I don't. I need to check on the, oh, it's already 30 minutes. Shoot. What would you use? Maybe I can use some of the flowers and then just add a puppy sticker from my stickers. I'll use this one. And I'm gonna put this right here. And then I'll add this one up here. And maybe the bird, one of the birds, this one. Oh, okay, let me cut this out here. He was supposed to sleep until like 12 or so. He slept all morning yesterday. He's trying to recreate the same thing. No. Why though? Why, people? I guess I'll have to stop after this and check on the puppy. Okay, let me write. I have more to write because yesterday that was cool too. Of course, it doesn't fit here. Let me put this right like that. And then I'll add, oh no, please, my Jelly, don't shake the camera. Move your butt a little to the side. No, don't. It's like you need to steer where they step, especially when you have wet ink on the paper. No. I thought about adding this flower right down here. So the first time we went to the dog park, we were alone. Well, we've been alone most of the time. I prefer being alone with him because I just don't trust other dogs and other dog owners. But it's still nice because I can let him off his leash and just roam around, and then he is okay with coming. But the funny thing is we threw the ball for a little while and then he was done, and so he jumped on the bench and sat right next to me. And often when he comes close, he's still very mouthy and doesn't really know how to be gentle, so it's kind of land sharky and I don't trust him. But he was so done that he just sat next to me and put his head onto my lap and just looked at me like, can we go home now? And so we did, of course. But the other thing, and that happened yesterday, we went to the dog park, and it's a beautiful dog park, super big, there's two, and one is called the Roamers, and it's so big. And there's a bench on the other side, and I've been walking over there. I'm letting him off the leash, walking towards the bench on the other side of the park. And I found it very interesting that even though he's able to roam around in this huge area, he's still keeping quite close to where I am. And that was so good to see that I'm part of his pack and that he wants to be closer. And now we just need to practice more and better recall so that he listens. So that's what I want to write down here, but I think I'm going to stop it here. You can see where I'm going with this. I need to catch up because I don't want to fall far behind. This is definitely one of the journals that brings me most joy, fills my cup when I work on it. And so I really want to make sure that I actually take the time to work on this journal. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having a great Sunday. I will see you next week. Until then, bye.